Hello, everybody. Scott Golden here with the NXT review for the um, fifth of October, 2021. Fourth week of the 2.0 relaunch. Honestly, the show is probably the worst I've ever. I won't go ever because I'm a 32-year fan. The worst I've seen in a mainstream product since at least in 10 years. It's probably longer. Anyway, show opens with Vic Joseph explaining that the original eight-man tag is turned into a four-way tag team match because nobody could get along. Mandy Rose with JC Jane and Gigi Dolan defeats Ember Moon. Short match. Ember probably is going to be released from the company soon if I were to have my druthers about it. Moon gains control early, puts Rose in Tree of Woe, and the rest of Toxic Attraction get her out of the ring. Moon responds with a tope dive and then takes out Jane. Rose cuts off Moon, and as she re-enters the ring, goes for the reverse suplex for near fall. Rose then is in control until Moon cuts her off with a punch. Moon then goes to the middle rope and connects with a codebreaker. Gets another near fall, tries for the ellipse, and goes right into a knee strike by Rose and gets pinned. So basically, they've killed her finish. On commentary, Beth Phoenix said that Adam will handle their business in reference to the issues with Seth Rollins and SmackDown and all of that. And then Legado del Fantasma bragged about taking Hit Road, and they're now moving to SmackDown as a result of the draft. Escobar challenges Swerve for the NXT Championship. LA Knight defeats Odyssey Jones. Basic match that actually no one's going to care about. Jones is fine for what they need him to do, but he's not going to be a star that way. Finish is WWE booking. Um, Basically, a come from behind win. Crowd cheers for Jones in the match. Jones splashes Knight and throws him around like a rag doll in the ring. Knight exits the ring, and then Jones stalks Knight, who finds an opening. Knight remains in control until he tries a body slam. Jones responds by splashing Knight in the corner, and Jones hits a knee to the gut. Andre Chase approaches and gets on the apron and tries to distract Jones. This allows Knight to get a momentary win, and hits a reverse cutter with Chase holding on to the foot. Mackenzie Mitchell interviews Cameron Grimes, who puts over the current romance going on in NXT. He says he's in search to find his lucky lady. Pete Dunne and Ridge Holland walk in. Dunne says that they're the baddest man. He's the baddest man in NXT. Challenges Grimes to a match. Grimes ignores him and instead starts to chat with some random ladies nearby. Kyle O'Reilly walks up on Von Wagner in the locker room and asks why he's had his back for the last 2 weeks. Wagner referred to himself in the third person and said that O'Reilly has heart. O'Reilly said that after the last year, he doesn't trust anybody, and he told Wagner to stay out of his way. Tommaso Ciampa came out for a promo. He says Halloween Havoc returns on October 26th. I do not like this as a concept because, well, it devalues the Halloween Havoc brand on NXT, and the champ needs an opponent. He mentioned one man in particular and says he's not a patient man and he wants to be the flag bearer of NXT. Ciampa then says actions speak louder than words. He asks who has the guts to take the title from him. This draws out Braun Breaker, aka the son of Rick Steiner, and he tells Ciampa that he's shown nothing but respect for him. He wants to be NXT champion. He says he's got the biggest guts in the locker room, and that he and the crowd want the title shot. Ciampa said the difference between him and Breaker is that Breaker wants an NXT title, but Ciampa needs the title. He tells Breaker that he has 3 weeks to go from an intern to a PhD, accepting his challenge. Uh, Basically, running this match this quickly is just stupid. Joe Gacy is backstage. He then says that while social media crashed, he knew one platform that won't crash, NXT 2.0, and he will use the ring as our safe space. Conflict can be resolved peaceably, and yes, there can be two winners. Indy Hartwell and Persha Ferretta talking about how many um, birth control methods Hartwell used during her honeymoon backstage. And they open the door and see it's filled with smoke. Mei Ying and Boa are inside, Boa telling them to get out. Joe Gacy defeats Ikemen Hero. Short match, and Gacy offers a handshake with Hero. Gacy tells Hero to hit him again. Commentators mention Gacy is receiving national attention as a result of what WWE thinks is woke promos. Gacy hit a clothesline into a corner and then a suplex. Hero cuts him off with a sloppy DDT and then uses a momentary comeback. Doesn't really go that well, but Hero hits a Huracan run off the top rope, misses a knee strike. Gacy springboards off the ropes and plants Hero with a clothesline for the win. Post-match, Gacy lifts Hero to his feet and hugs him. Hero looks confused. Gacy is walking to the back. Creepy bald man stares at him in the stands. Cora Jade, who is doing the skateboarder gimmick like she's Avril Lavigne from Avril Lavigne from like 1999. Anyway, Duke Hudson is now a professional poker player. Anyway, Cora Jade defeats Frankie Monet. Short match. Talk of Ember, and Frankie isn't doing that much better. Cora Jade comes out to the ring on a skateboard with a song that's straight out of 95. Monet is in total control from the start, hitting knees in the corner. Trey Baxter pops up at ringside supporting Jade. Jade misses a splash in the corner and tries to rally, but Monet cuts her off. Monet hits a finish, but Jade rolls her up for a pin, and this is complete and utter trash. Anyway, tag team titles and the tag team match participants attack each other in the back. Ciampa's cutting a promo when Gacy walks up and says that he's got toxic energy. He speaks to the voice, struggling to be heard, and basically says he wants a title match. Ciampa said that if Gacy beats him next week, he can be in the Halloween Havoc title match. Ciampa tells Gacy that the ring won't be a safe space for him next week. Raquel Gonzalez walks into the Performance Center. Pete Dunne defeats Cameron Grimes. Grimes starts in control. Dunne cuts him off with a clothesline. Manipulates joints, fingers, and then Grimes fights back, only to get taken down. Dunne misses a knee in the corner. They trade offense until Holland takes Dunne out of the ring. O'Reilly then goes after the latest promo, while O'Reilly eventually jumps Dunne after the match. But Holland quickly takes him out like he was nothing. Trey D'Angelo, who has connections, is up next. Hit Row vignette. Top Dollar makes it clear that he's not running away from Legado del Fantasma. B-Fab told Elektra next time she won't be so nice. Swerve accepts Escobar's North American title challenge, so we know where that belt is going. Von Wagner is shown helping O'Reilly to his feet after he's laid out. Tony D'Angelo defeats Malik Blade. Not good by any stretch of the imagination. This is more about gimmick than anything else. D'Angelo comes to the ring wearing a velvet tracksuit. Crowd likes D'Angelo. Blade cuts him off, hits a dropkick, and sends him out of the ring. D'Angelo makes a comeback, and he's not ready for TV. His timing is off. Blade cuts him off again and hits a crossbody for near fall. D'Angelo trips Blade, sends him into the buckle, hits a belly-to-belly suplex, and pins Blade with a Northern Lights suplex, and then slowly follows up with a Fisherman Buster. Backstage, Carmelo Hayes and Trick Williams talks about the tag team title match. Hayes brings up he didn't even cash in for his breakout title match contract. Williams clarified that they are about it. This is not 1999, although someone's trying to make it as though it is. Anyway, so then we go to Indy Hartwell defeating Mei Ying. This is horrible. 1,000-year-old lady trained by dragons. I don't think this will be here very long. Basically, both of them have a useless feeling out process, and there's a nerve choke. Mei Ying shoves Hartwell into the turnbuckle on the outside of the ring. Persia Pirotta appears out of thin air and distracts Mei Ying, leaving the opening for Hartwell, posting her in the corner. Lash Legend says if she thought last week's show was great, the next week she's going to spill some tea. I hate the term, so it's not for me. Anyway, that will make Urban Meyer's story seem tame. And anyway, Tony D'Angelo walks by and wanted to be part of next week's show. Lash seems interested, then talks about how she shut down Facebook and Instagram. I wouldn't be talking about that these days because most people are dependent on that junk. Anyway, Diamond Mine promo airs, introducing every member of the stable, and anyway, it just seems like retread. Raquel Gonzalez comes down to the ring for a promo. She dares Rose to come out and touch her again. Toxic Attraction does make their way out. Mandy Rose said that she used to admire Gonzalez, but now she just comes off as desperate, knowing that she's just up her title reign and it's about to come to an end. She also says that they are taking over. Gigi Dolan said that they are championship material and that you can't stop but look in awe at them. Gonzalez brings up Dolan's stitches, which Dolan did not like. JC Jane said that we can add jealousy to go with being desperate. Jane said that they are all over Raw and SmackDown and their faces on NXT. Soon they'll be holding all the gold in NXT, not just Toxic Attraction. They are the attraction. Trio then circles around the ring. Rose asks if they should have some fun. And then Zoe Stark and Io Shirai come to the ring for the save, doing the Toxic Attraction attack. They eventually back down. O'Reilly, who's already been here, is icing his shoulder. Von Wagner walks up to him and says he likes it or not, he's the one that has O'Reilly's back, and they're taking on Pete Dunne and Ridge Holland next week. Gonzalez, Stark, and Shirai are backstage talking about how they didn't like Toxic Attraction more than they didn't like each other. Hartwell and Pirotta walked up and told the tag team champions that they wanted a title match, and Johnny Gargano and Candice LeRae have just disappeared, and we're moving on from them as a concept, apparently. So then we go to what's considered the main event. MSK defeats the Grizzled Young Veterans, Gibson and Drake, Brooks Jensen and Josh Briggs, and Carmelo Hayes and Trick Williams to retain the tag team title. Some would say this is the best match on the show, but that's more for slim pickings. Everyone looks fine. Jensen and Briggs are new, and it shows, but at least they're trying. They're green, but they at least tried hard. Everyone tags in early and does basically spot with very little psychology. Briggs and Jensen end up gaining control, and this allows Wes Lee to hit a running tope to the floor, taking out Hayes and Williams. MSK pins Williams with an assisted neckbreaker off the top rope, scoring the first elimination. Apparently, somewhere along the way, this was an elimination. Back from the break, Gibson and of the Grizzled Young Vets, they control Wes Lee. Drake's tagged in, takes control. MSK cuts him off with Nash Carter hitting a moonsault from the turnbuckles to the floor. And Grizzled Young Veterans Jensen is able to tag in and quickly pins Gibson with an assist from Briggs. Then they leave MSK and Jensen and Briggs. Briggs hits Lee with a big boot, but Jensen plants him with a side Russian leg sweep at the same time, and the two control Lee hitting a double choke slam. Carter hits a big crossbody to the floor and taking Jensen in and taking him out in the confusion. Lee then is able to get a victory roll. Briggs for the pin and retains the titles. Jensen and Briggs grab the titles and try and run away with them. They give them to MSK as they leave, and they establish themselves as, I guess, baby faces. Imperium, Bartel, and Ankner run in and attack MSK. Jensen and Woods come in and clean and chase them away. So we've got heels and baby faces and lots of new talent, and nobody really stands out because it's just utter chaos and ADHD pacing of a bad wrestling program. We'll be back with more right after this.